or what are all the challenges you may face in Agile, right? The first ever problem I want to talk about is infrastructure readiness. The first ever problem I would like to talk about is infrastructure readiness. Suppose, imagine a situation, team. Imagine a situation. Vivek is a developer. Vivek is a developer. He prepared a new feature in Java version 9. He prepared a new feature in Java version 9 and he wants to send it to end user immediately. So he went to the infrastructure engineer. He went to the infrastructure engineer who is Nikhil, and he asked Nikhil, hey Nikhil, I would like to host this Java version 9 application in production server. Can you install Java version 9 on production server immediately? So what would Nikhil say? Tell me. Team, what would Nikhil say? Tell me. Will Nikhil go ahead and install immediately? Will Nikhil go and install immediately? Not really. Not really, because you know what, in organizations, if you want to implement any new change, it needs lot many approvals. It needs lot many approvals. Your manager should approve, your technical manager should approve, your CAB should approve. CAB means change advisory board in organizations. And they ask you, did you test it in previous environments? No, we didn't test. So no. So like this, team, there are many things needed. You need to create a ticket. It should get all the approvals in place. Once all approvals are in place, then you go for particular date. You inform your client, hey client, I'm going to deploy so and so change on so and so date. They should approve for downtime because it causes some downtime sometimes, right? So these are all the important tasks you need to walk through. If you consider all these things, will the Vivek's release immediately go to environment or end user? Will Vivek succeed to send his application to end user? Never. Never. So this is the generic thing, team. In every organization, it is same. In every organization, it is same, right? So it may not be immediately. So it takes some time. So this is infrastructure readiness. It takes some time to prepare the infrastructure to host your application. That is the first challenge. Of course, with Agile, you are preparing the application very quickly, but not the environment. Environment may not be ready all the time. Next, scalability. Scalability is the next thing I would like to talk about. So team, on festival days, on New Year days, many shops and all, they open more counters to make the process faster. And whenever you see your shopping carts like Amazon and all, they announce good sales, festival sales, Independence Day sales and all. That time they add more servers to the application. Why do they add? Because more than regular users access the application, team, on that particular day. So if 100 people access the application daily, on festival day maybe 200, maybe 300, you don't know, there may be more users access your application. So obviously you should increase the capacity of your infrastructure. So that it can survive. You know what happens if not? If there are more requests, if you don't have that much capacity, you know what happens to your application? Simply your application goes down and you need to go and troubleshoot then. This is how, team. Scalability is very important when you work for enterprise applications. Okay, now let's talk about scalability. Same thing. Okay, Vivek want to introduce new feature. So he asked Nikhil, hey Nikhil, I want 10 more VMs. or I want 10 more servers for my application code. Can Nikhil give in 1 minute, or can Nikhil give in 1 day? What do you think? Never possible, right? Because in organizations team, it's not that much easy to get a new server. Hell lot of approvals are needed. Hell lot of approvals are needed, right? Your manager should approve. You should show business reason. Your finance head should approve. These many things they have in place team. Once you cross all these things, yes, then you get servers. That is not end yet, right? Once you get the server, again you need to install OS. Again you need to install your application. These things are very common. It takes a lot of time. So scalability is very challenging task in organization. It cannot be done quickly and easily as we think. It takes a lot of time. Earlier days, 2012 around, when I was in designing team, right? We used to give the requirements before 3 months. You believe it or not? 3 months before we used to give the requirements. I want so many servers within 3 months to expand my application footprint. So that's how we use it to do. So that's very important team. That's very important. So this is where scalability is again a challenge. Of course, your application features are ready, but I could not accommodate them. Next, quality of the product. What is quality of the product? How can we understand quality of the product? See team, you have a deadline. You have a deadline. So tomorrow is your deadline to prepare your application. Suppose the code is not yet ready. It still have issues, that is not properly tested, but it is executing fine. All the functionalities are not tested. So because of the deadline, you may be thinking, okay, let's release the code. It is working. A few features are working. Let us assume remaining also may work. Sometimes this is very common team in IT industry. You see, right, the application which is tested perfectly in previous environment sometimes may not work fine in production. If you ask QA team back, they say, okay, this feature is missing the testing. Sometimes you hear this. So quality of the application may vary from environment to environment because of the timing constraint. So this is the quality of product team. Quality of the product. Limited release windows. Because of these, we see limited release windows. So in organizations, if you see, right, they put some standard windows. Okay, next week 15th is the time where you can go and have some window to deploy your application. Some Saturday midnight 2 hours we are okay to deploy your application. Like this, they will have limited release windows. We are not sending all the applications immediately, right? So this is where team in Agile we are restricted. Because though the application feature is ready, we are unable to send it to the market. So it's like the chef is cooking delicious food. He's not serving you. He is keeping in a refrigerator. You may get it after 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So the same way team in Agile, we are developing the application content. We are fixing the bugs and we are not sending immediately to the end user. We are keeping with us and we are finding one standard maintenance window someday with all the approvals in place. Then we are sending the application to end user. If application has any issue, if the code has any issue, you are getting that time only. If the food is bad or tasty, you will come to know once you serve only. There is no meaning of preparing it and putting it in refrigerator. So that is what happening. So this is what it is team. This is what it is with Agile. These are all the challenges that we need to meet or we need to cross or we need to overtake.